What's going on, everybody? I'm Jason with Tennessee Mountain Homestead, and today we're going to have a little contest. So let's meet our contestants. Here we have a 1983 John Deere 214 that's been highly modified. On this side, we have a 2004 John Deere L120 that's also been highly modified. Let's talk about the modifications. On this 1983 John Deere 214, it's featuring a Predator 670. It's also featuring a one-off custom belt drive pulley system with a 7-inch pulley on the motor and a 5-inch pulley on the trans. Now, the transmission is a Peerless 2300 series with a locked differential. Coming back over to the John Deere L120, it features a Briggs & Stratton Intech 22 horsepower, which came stock on this tractor. And the modifications to this are, I've got a Tough Torque K66 hydrostatic transmission in this, which came in the G110 series of garden tractors. Both of these tractors have also been modified with 2-inch receivers. Normally on the L120 we run these V-bar tires with chains because this is kind of our off-road tractor for now. However, for today's video, we stole these tires off of the John Deere 212 donor tractor in the other garage so that this tractor and that tractor will be more evenly matched. I'm pretty sure that both sets of these tires on each of these tractors are roughly 40 years old. They're the original rubber. Let's get these two fired up and let's also meet our drivers. Here's our drivers, Ethan.
Hey guys.
And Stefan.
Hi.
They're twin brothers, and they weigh about the same amount of weight. All right, gentlemen, start your engines. Go! All right, so that was a clear win for the 214, and I believe it's the weight advantage. It's a heavier machine. We're going to compensate for the weight difference by putting about 80 pounds of chains on the back of the L120. We got all the chains, about 80 pounds or so, on the back. Plus, as you might notice, this thing also has a 5-gallon aluminum fuel cell hanging off the back, which we topped off with 5 gallons of fuel. With that, it's time for round 2. All right, gentlemen, start your engines. In that situation, the L120 was the clear winner. It all comes down to weight. Next thing we're going to do is take these things out in the barnyard in the grass and see what happens. After that, we're going to put these bar and chain tires back on the L120 and showcase what happens when you put something like this on a tractor. Alright, so we're out here in front of the barn and we're going to do kind of the same test and see which one can pull which way. But before we do that, we're going to take some of these chains off of this one and try to guesstimate and make these equal in weight over the back tires, because it might be interesting to see them pull each other back and forth as each one finds traction. What do you guys think? I'm betting on the 214 still because it has a locked axle, but the L120 with the K66 Tough Torque, also both tires seem to spin once it gets under a load. I'm not sure if it has a factory limited slip, but we'll see. Gentlemen, start your engines. Go! So just like I thought, the locked axle on the 214 won. So next we're going to put the bar tires back on the other tractor with the open differential or limited slip, and we'll see what happens with that. Alright, so it's a little bit later in the day. There's no more dew in the grass, and we're going to go ahead and before we change the tires out, we're going to try to give this thing a couple of more advantages. We put the rest of the chains on this thing that we have, and we're going to see if it'll do it with these boys on it, and then if it can't, if this one still wins, we're going to give it the ultimate weight advantage. Start your engines. So that was a draw. Even though this one only had one tire fire going, it is a hydrostatic and you cannot push it backwards in reverse. So even though that tire wasn't spinning and that tire was, it still had the friction of that tire not moving. Now this one, on the other hand, both tires were going forward, but it wouldn't budge this one. All right, pit crew, get at it. And time. Now that we've got these super gnarly bar tires with chains back on the L120, let's see what it can do. We also removed the advantage of having more weight in the form of chains on this thing to see if it even has a possibility of defeating that thing. Start your engines. So obviously that thing has way more traction than this thing, but I'm going to give it one last chance, and I'm going to get on this thing and add about 250 pounds to it.
Start your engines.
Alright guys, so as you can see, this thing has no chance against this thing with the different treads and the chains and all that good stuff. Now, we could obviously put those tires on this and it would probably be the opposite effect. This thing would take this thing backwards all day long. But we're not going to do that. Instead, we have a wild card and we're going to get that set up for you right next before we close out the video. We're going to give this thing a shot at today's title. This is a 1983 John Deere 111. And it's packing an 801 Peerless with 3/4 inch axles. They do have hubs, but the hubs are welded to the axle at the very end, and this transmission happens to be welded also in the differential. It's locked. Under the ranch here, we've got a Briggs & Stratton 12 horsepower industrial commercial engine straight out of 1987. Out back, we've got some 19 by 9.5 on 8-inch wheels. ATV tires, not sure what the brand is. I got them from eBay. And also, we have a custom 2-inch receiver on the back of this as well. Gentlemen, start your engines. And go! What an upset. The 111 just lost big, but look, it gave a nice big fight. Look at what it did to the ground on both sides. So next, we're going to give this thing my weight advantage.
Start your engines. Go!
So as you can see, that was a draw. Now, look at the carnage. Both sides we dug holes. Even this one went into a lockup mode. Like both tires start to spin once one hooks up. I don't know how that works. I don't know if that transmission has a limited slip. I've never opened it up. It is a hydro. I bought it brand new. It's a Tough Torque K66. That's all I know about it. Anyway, you can see how it was digging a hole to China. And this one here dug a hole to India. So, yeah, they didn't move one. I think this one moved one way a little bit if this was centered. But that was basically a draw in my book. Alright guys, that's going to be a wrap for today's video. I really hope you enjoyed today's video with the content with these 3 tractors. And let us know in the comments below if we can do anything cooler, if you like to see these things pull something different, or whatever the case may be, let us know. Please remember to like and subscribe. And once again, I'm Jason with Tennessee Mountain Homestead, and we'll see you on the next one.